Alright, here we are today on the 2013 Kawasaki ZX6R. That was kind of lame. This is the 2013 Ninja ZX. Alright, today we're in the 2013 Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R, and this is going to be the best review on the entire internet. Because we're going to give you all the details, and we're not going to put you to sleep. We're just going to try not to. And I'm going to give you, at some point in time, I'll give you my feedback on the bike, and we're going to cover all the details, technical details, the engine design and everything. All right, here we go. So, this is 2013 Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R, and basically, what is this? This is a 636cc bike, 636cc capacity. That's up from 599 in the old model. So this is going to be one of the most powerful 600cc, 600 series bikes that you can buy today. So, your buddy is on a 599, you're on a 636. And I know what you're thinking. Some of you guys are thinking, oh, it's just an extra 36 cc's, that's nothing. Trust me. You're going to want to keep listening to this. Later on, I'll tell you what the difference that this makes, and it's more than just the cc's. There's also changes to the engine design. All right, let's go through the basic idea. So of course the engine has been changed. You have selectable engine modes. You got low mode and a high mode. You got traction control. You got the show separate function big piston forks, monoblock radial mount Nissan front brake calipers. You got the FCC clutch, which is easier to squeeze, slipper clutch. You got lightweight twin spar aluminum frame. The rake is steeper, 23.5. Yeah, 23.5. And you also have new steering stem seals, which make it easier to turn the bike low speeds, like we're doing right now. Anyway, you get a longer stroke. You also have revised modifications made to the intake and exhaust ports. They're wider. You also have a compression ratio of 12.9 to 1. 12.9 to 1 is the compression ratio on this bike. You get a larger earbox. You got longer single bore intake funnels. Yeah. Road rage. Anyway, cassette style transmission, which is basically for you track day guys, allowing you guys to change the transmission really quickly. We'll get into that later on. And that's the basics of the 2013 Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R 636. Wow, this guy's good. Alright, so let's go into the details of this bike a little bit more. I'll slow it down, slow down the pace a little bit. So, those of you guys who know about the 636 bike, you know that this is nothing new. They actually had a 636 bike before because of race requirements, and the idea of having a Ninja ZX6R race bike with a 599cc and a 636 as well, so you're selling two bikes, that's financially not the best idea. So they got rid of the 636 and they were selling just the 599. Well, the 636 is back, and trust me, the extra 36cc's, it matters. We'll go into that in more detail later on. So, traction control. Tell me what other 600 series bike right now you can get traction control in. You're probably gonna have a hard time finding one. This is Kawasaki leading the way with their technology in this bike. Traction control is not new, but in the 600 series class, go and look and see if you can find anyone else that has traction control. And it's actually a very convenient feature. If you're an advanced rider, you're not going to use it that much, because you're going to actually handle your throttle where you don't, trigger it. However, it's an extra safety. It's like insurance, just in case you slip up, just in case you miss something. You have the traction control. Usually I ride in mode 1 if I get good conditions. If it's really wet or slippery, it's cold, I go in mode 3. So I definitely use the modes, but typically they don't trigger because of my throttle control. So while an advanced rider doesn't need the traction control, it's nice to know it's there. So again, it's like insurance. Now you get the show separate function forks. What does that mean, show separate function forks? It means exactly what it says. It's separate functions on each side. You adjust separate functions on each side. One type of adjustment made on the left, another type is made on the right. That's the basic idea. Big piston, and this bike is more street friendly. It's definitely a potent track weapon. Gotta focus for a second. Making a dangerous turn. Or maybe not. Anyway, so it's much more street friendly. The suspension soaks up the bumps much better. Very comfortable ride. Those of you guys familiar with the Ninja ZX6R, you know it's always been one of the most comfortable 600 series bikes. It's even more so now with the suspension setup on it. You got the gas shock in the rear and the Showa big piston forks in the front. Nicely set up, much more street friendly. You also have the FCC clutch lever, easier to squeeze. That's great in traffic. It's not as hard. A lot of super sport bikes is hard to squeeze the clutch lever. Not the case here. Very easy, or comparatively easy. Also, the rear shock is ride height adjustable. You have a cassette type transmission. Basically, that's going to be for track day guys. You can basically slide the transmission in and out, change the gearing, put it back in. I mean, obviously there's more to it than that. You got to take off the clutch cover and take off the plates and all that stuff. But the basic idea is you don't have to take apart the entire engine just to change your gearing, man. You can, take out a few pieces, in terms of, you get the point. Anyway, moving on. You've got a bigger ram air duct sucking in all that air. So bigger ram air duct, which sucks in more air, more power. The bike can breathe, and it can really embarrass your friends. So again, a lot of things that are one of the big things about this bike is power delivery. I'm going to talk more about that in a little bit. Just stay with me. Pedal style rotors. Pedal style rotors. That's basically the pretty, as some of you might say, the pretty rotors, with their jagged edges. And basically the idea is heat dissipation, right? You're allowing, and this is not really gonna really do much for you on the street. It's more of a track thing. Extreme braking conditions where things get really hot. Brake fade is an issue. Brake fade is an issue where the brakes get so hot and then your brakes aren't functioning as well as a result of the effects of that heat. Well, this allows it to stay cooler. So that's the jagged edges. It's also drilled as well. You got the holes in there. And that's the basic idea. Now let's talk about power delivery. The extra 36 cc's definitely makes a difference. This is not a gimmick. This, and I know sometimes, they like at cameras, oh, it's got 12 megapixels, 13 megapixels, 14 megapixels. What's the big deal? Same kind of good quality lenses. The difference in 12 to 14 megapixels, not a big deal unless you're doing blow-ups or enlargements. But I digress. This is actually not a gimmick. This is a legitimate increase in CC. It makes a big difference. Small numbers make a big difference on motorcycles. A 10-pound difference on a bike is a big difference in terms of a 10-pound reduction, big difference. An extra 5 horsepower, an extra 10 horsepower, big difference. Small numbers make a big difference. This is not even a small number, really, when you think about it. 36 cc's. 36 cc's makes a big difference. And it's not just 36 cc's. That's the lazy way. They could just increase the cc's on a bike. Oh, it's a bigger capacity. It's got more power. No, it's more than that. The engine is actually tuned to address some of the issues with the older bikes, which is not a lot of power down low. Very anemic down low. You've seen me on the Mulholland Drive on the older ZX6R, and it's anemic down low. When I first rode it, I thought this bike was so weak. Then I realized you gotta let it scream. 11,000, 12,000, 13,000 RPMs. You gotta really go up to the red line to get the power. This is really taking a long time here. But anyway, this bike from 8,000 RPMs, you're getting a good power response. This bike is ready to move from 8,000 RPMs. 9, oh yeah. 10, oh yeah. Okay, that sounded a little bit dirty. But anyway, power delivery is much better on this bike. Wow. Road rage. Anyway, in traffic, doing about 20 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour, at 3,000 RPMs, 4,000 RPMs, this thing is ready to go. If you're going highway speed, 67 miles per hour, and you're 8,000 RPMs, 9,000 RPMs, you're ready to go. 10,000 RPMs, you are serious. 11, wow! So power delivery is definitely a big difference. This bike, I was overtaking people in 6th gear. Amazing, 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 amazing. Great job, Kawasaki. Great job. Really love the power delivery of this bike. It's very smooth. The shifting is great. I mean, I remember downshifting is so butter smooth. And the suspension feels nice. Very comfortable bike. It's always been a comfortable bike, even more so now. Put your money where your mouth is. We rode from the New York City area all the way to Boston, hung out for about 15 minutes, and then we came back. That's a lot of miles to put on a super sport bike. No problems whatsoever. I can't make any complaints about this bike in terms of comfort. Of course, your body's different, your physical condition's different. I know what's gonna happen with you, but I can definitely say that I've been on a lot of different bikes. Very comfortable bike, especially for a super sport bike. Only issue I had was biker's butt. I think I made that term up, but you know, you're sitting on a seat for so long. It's a little small seat. You know, blood circulation issues, but that wasn't even a major issue. That was just the only thing that I could feel. A little bit on the wrist after a long time. I mean, I'm talking about, you know, maybe by the time you get to Boston, you start to feel a little something. Nothing compared to the R6. R6, wow, very uncomfortable. A lot of in terms of the wrist. Oh man, that's the wrist killer, that bike. Not so much an issue here. Eventually it does become somewhat of an issue. I did feel a little bit sore, but that's after a lot of riding. So generally speaking, this bike is set up very nicely. Knees are another issue you have. You know, the knees, the aggressive angle that your knees are bent, not an issue with this bike. So comfortable, excellent power delivery down low, mid-range, and up high. It's always been there, and it's even more now because you got the extra 36 cc's, bigger air, ram air. You're sucking in that air. The changes they've made to the engine, the changes to the bore and stroke, the compression ratio, you know, the wider intake and the exhaust ports. This bike is no joke. It's not, again, not simply adding extra 36 cc's. And for the guys out there that are saying they should have done a 750 and all this kind of nonsense, look, man, if you do that, then it's no longer a 600 series bike. You're talking about a bigger class. For the 600 class of bikes, this is going to be one of the most powerful bikes out there. This is absolutely a very serious 600 series bike. If you want to be the guy with the faster bike out there and a comfortable bike, then you're looking at a Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R. That's you know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is going to be one of the best 600 series bikes for 2013. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the shootouts that are going to be. Some of them are already started already, but this is definitely probably going to do very well. Great job, excellent job, Kawasaki. Highly recommend, if you're looking for a 600 series bike, definitely check out the 2013 Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R 636. And you are watching Carlyle's Picks. And if you enjoyed this video, you find this information helpful, I definitely recommend you subscribe and click on the like button and tell your friends, man. Share the video. Come on, you know you want to. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. It's Carlyle's Picks, signing off.